Buddy Daddies was a really great show, my favorite from last season. The way Miri became an integral part of Rei and Kazuki's lives, breaking barriers between them, mending wounds from their past, and how they change each other was wholesome and fun, and hit emotional chords when it needed to. And yeah, sure, they're like assassins, and there's a darker underbelly plotline going on because, they're assassins trying to raise a kid who they found because they're assassins, and most of the conflict revolves around that. But family. And the good vibes, and there's plenty of episodes where you might blink and forget, oh yeah, these guys kill people. But the one thing that was hard to forget is the ED, which often plays before the credits to set the mood. A slow cascade of notes seep in, there's a nice snap to it, the electronic beats, the guitar trilling along, then they hit it. The ending was done by Durden and consists of 3 members: Shinta, a trackmaker who's done music for various groups; Yako, the topliner or someone who creates the vocal melodies and harmonies on top of a track; and the lead singer-songwriter, Baku, who is Korean, which explains why some lyrics are in Korean. They started in 2021, but have been consistently putting out music, and their history is very well found on their YouTube channel. Many of their songs are quite low-key. They're relaxing, the melodies and rhythms often laid back, and you can really see it in these performance videos. They're loose and chill, and the lighting and atmosphere is mellow. This consistency in the music they usually create was an initial worry when they began making the ending. In the interviews found on the official Buddy Daddies website, Yako notes that they haven't really made bright or cheerful songs. So when they looked at the premise of Buddy Daddies, a show about family love, it was a challenge. They wanted to go for something that fit with the atmosphere of the show and tried their best to steer clear from darker elements. This idea of a subtle darkness found in their songs can be seen in a couple of their past work. Toshino Seni is one example, translated roughly as "at the end of the year." Audibly, it has a very melancholic texture that starts with the way Baku sings. It's an airy voice. Even when the instrumentals seem to pull ahead, he never raises his voice to go with it. It stays in place. This reflects the lyrics too, where there's a lot of circular motion. The speaker is going back and forth saying, ending it with a reaffirmation. There's descriptions of these images of things never ending, staying in place, reverberating, and the song even ends with this play on stagnation with it's a pretty dark song if you want it to be. With that in mind, and some specific requests for the song to be full of happiness, it was a tall task, especially because Yako, in charge of lyrics, says how they didn't have a great upbringing, and so they wouldn't have been able to draw on personal experience. Instead, ideals of what they thought a happy family would be were used. Right from the first verse, the speaker, seemingly addressing their child, is explaining how having them in their life creates tons of surprise, and how they're wrapped around and led along this chaotic ball of energy. But these days are... When those days settle, there's this really sweet imagery of cherishing them that, even if it's tiring and chaotic, it's something to never let go. It's an idealized family life, and the song acknowledges this with lines like that one day these days will be gone. There's a lot of wish fulfillment in the phrasing as well. Not that these days will, and there's further questioning if these idealized days will last. But it never dwells too deeply into that darkness, since they didn't want that. So they end these phrases by saying, it's an incredibly positive song with a lot of imagery that one may want from a happy family, even if it's unpredictable and things may not always be that way. The song wishes to retain that happiness. Later in the interviews, they discuss the selling points of Buddy Daddies, and they connect realism with the family aspects. The characters grow and learn through raising Miri, and things don't always go well. There are parallels that can be drawn from these lyrics to the show, and how the speaker seems to be discussing these fluffy days and heartfelt moments, and then wishing that these idealized days remain because it's not always going to be as perfect. Also, the idea of a scenery never changing is a dramatic emotional note that Rei extends near the end of the show, where he feels that as long as he's tied to its background, he can't change from it. And later on, when Miri goes back to her birth mother, the idea of them being unable to change is enhanced. After all this time, they are left alone, and Rei has to go back to take over the family business. But at the same time, every day is full of surprises, and they are still wrapped around Miri's fingers. Their lives are molded to accommodate and raise her with so much new experiences being granted to them. It's this idea of an unpredictable future, and they choose to lean towards the light. Instead of staying in the darkness, they grow from it, and take things into their own hands, because as people, that's all they can really do. That tint of realism, and the ebb and flow of how life is quite poignant. It's in the lyrics, from their personal wishes and understanding of family, and it extends to the show, this realistic idea of a family that has to learn how to be a family. This attention to the mood of the song and how it should capture these ideas of an idealized family erring on optimism was also brought to the way the song is structured. Shinta describes the song as having slightly odd sections, like how it starts with a musical phrase that's supposed to leave an impression, or be attractive even though it's not the chorus, and I can see what he means. The first few notes get right into it. It really grabs you and brings you forward, and the core notes that lead into the melody and rhythm is already there, like how the snapping or clapping parts transition into the drum snares, and of course the electronic beats are the base of the sound right from the start. This remains consistent, which was the intention. Shinta thought that since it was the ED, they didn't want to disrupt the transition into it, that there shouldn't be a slowness or urgency from when the show stops and when the ED plays. It should be a smooth flow. This smooth flow is something that was utilized extremely well, as they often played the ED before the credits, letting the song seep into certain scenes. In some episodes, this is done after or during a heartwarming moment, the ED indicative of a happy idealized moment, and it feels like this is Rei and Kazuki who is singing and wishing for these optimistic days to last. But it can also work in emotionally draining episodes, like when Miri goes off with her mom and they think it's all over. Those feelings of a happy, idealized family don't just disappear because of this. Just like how the song was requested to leave an impression, these feelings have left an impression on Rei and Kazuki. Even in this moment of darkness, that light of family is still within their hearts. And so the ED is also quite fitting, being that representation of the lightness of family following them. In a way, the ED is a nice amalgamation of the show, and is a great representation of why I love Buddy Daddies so much. It's catchy. Watching each episode of Buddy Daddies, I was very keen on the characters, the dynamics. It was so fun to see things come into place and the antics of this found family, and I could watch them goof off and learn from each other without tire. It's soft and atmospheric. The beats and texture of the song is just like the show, that despite having drizzles of darkness, is actually quite wholesome and nods on the cuteness of its cast and the heartwarming moments where we see them grow. And learning about the intricacies of the creation, of how it was so intentionally made to fight against darkness, how optimistic it is in lyrics, to its consistent construction for impressions, and making sure the goodness and lightness lingers with the listeners, is fitting for the show where the finale is the most optimistic thing that one could expect. The song could have been made with the kind of dreary somber chill of Durden's other songs, but it wasn't, because that's not the kind of show this is. That's not the vibes we're looking for. And that was the end of the video. I didn't think I would make a Buddy Daddies video after I'd already talked about it in a short, but I decided, hey, there was something interesting to talk about in terms of what I've been recently doing with focusing on music. And so there are interviews with the musicians who made the ending. Why not talk about it? And before I go, I do want to shout out the Patreon, where if you like what you see, if you like the work I do with the channel and the videos I make, then you can consider taking a look at it. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.